This is a prepaid debit call from...
It's me for just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent call... This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording on this call. I just wanted to reemphasize that this judge did not let the jury know what the indictment was about. He whittled it down to unlawful possession of a weapon by somebody with a prior felony conviction. He didn't state that that having, meaning present tense, having, the elements of the charge have to do with something that was caught right in the act. That's the way it's worded. And that motion that Mr. Quasi filed, I filed, and it's accurate. He's right. Also, they did not let them know the other elements of the law, such as that the United States recognizes ambassadors have immunity irrespective of recognition by the United States. And the people of Nebraska have been duped. The law says that they have to do these trials in the district where the event occurred. Well, they say, well, Nebraska has one district, but it has 3 divisions. It's a play on words that they're using. They've manipulated the phraseology so that they can make everybody have a trial in Omaha or Lincoln, which are 50 miles away, thereby eliminating the court out in North Platte, where the people in the western part of the state do not get to participate, because out there you've got a lot of farmers and people that support the Second Amendment, and they would not, for an instance, have convicted me had they known what was going on. The people out here, every one of my jurors was from Omaha, except maybe 1 or 2 people that are from Sharpie County, and in that county, they are hostile towards anybody that doesn't support the government. They're all anti-Second Amendment, and they're statist. That's the problem you run into when these courts are rigged.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The federal courts in this country, they're completely satanic. I mean, there's nobody that gets a fair trial in a federal court. Even a state court, I believe they're all gone. They're all been, they've all been taken over.
Well, right. Well, I have sent letters, that packet of information that I sent you, I sent to President Trump. I've sent it to the State Department, to the Office of Protocol. I've sent it to Jared Kushner's office in New York. I've sent it to Jared Kushner's office in New Jersey. I've sent it to Alan Gottlieb with Second Amendment Foundation, to Breitbart News in Los Angeles. I've sent it to USCCA in Wisconsin. I've sent it to Senator Lamar Alexander. I've sent it to Senator Charles Grassley. I've sent it to Senator Bob Corker. I've sent it to Creighton University. I've sent it to, everybody you can think of, and I've got not a single response from anybody. And you can't send a letter to Congress or a senator without getting a form letter reply acknowledging that they got your letter. So.
Well, I know for Mr. Ed and Elaine Brown, there's a corporation called Novatex Government Solutions that interrupts and intercepts all of his letters to Donald Trump, and they open it up and they send it back to Ed Brown. So I know for a fact they don't let Ed Brown send letters to Donald Trump. But what you're talking about, it goes on all the time. It's called, I call it legal abuse syndrome. We've got a guy in prison that's been in prison 35 years. And he's been he's been writing letters to everybody and his brother, and nobody gives a damn. It's almost like we're in Sodom and Gomorrah, and we've got to just, I hate to say it, Mike, but it's the only option I see is like pray to the Lord and keep making noise and shining light. We're not going to compromise. We're not going to back down, but I just don't have faith in man. My attitude about other men is so freaking negative, and the Bible says that. The Bible says men's hearts are wicked, and there's no money in helping you, and it's not going to do them any political good, so they're all cowards,
Right. Well, The only thing that will prevent me from being locked up for the rest of my life, as I see it right now, is if Governor Haslam of Tennessee exonerates me. I know that his office received it. I don't know if he got it. I don't have the ability to call him or email him. If somebody has the ability to call or email Governor Bill Haslam in Tennessee and verify if he received my petition for exoneration, then at least I'll know that he received it. Whether or not he signs it is up to him. But if they could encourage him to sign it, given the fact that I'm a whistleblower, I'm the guy that called and reported crime. And what happens? I get attacked by the government. I get railroaded into prison for reporting a criminal act, a rigged election, and all of this other rigging that's going on. The courts are rigged and everything else. That is not America. That's Nazi-style gulag, third world banana republic. That's what we've got. Also, other than Donald Trump's, if the State Department recognizes me as the ambassador of the Chilcotin Indian Nation, so that we can continue having peaceful bilateral trade agreements with the United States and the companies down here, which is a benefit since Canada doesn't want to do a trade deal with the United States. Guess what? The Chilcotin Nation is more than ready to do trade deals where we can trade fairly, equally, so that there's no one-sidedness. That's what everybody in the Chilcotin Nation is about anyway. Fairness. That's all we ever seek is fairness. Where the Canadian government, all these other governments, they want to take the United States and the people down here for a ride. And, that's not right. And Trump is right in wanting to have a fair trading agreement. And we agree with that. And that's all we're looking for is a fair deal. But we're not going to get it through this corporation posing as government.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Theirs is all about destroying the Native American system that we've got in the Chilcotin Nation so that they can just come up there and steal everything. It's like at the Parsons farm. Now that they've got me and Mrs. Parsons locked away, they've just got people going out there on our farm and stealing stuff whenever they want. And, like the Chilcotin transport, some guy stole it and sold it. Who knows where it is? Just legal thievery is going on in this country. But if anybody could reach out to Bill Haslam and or the State Department and or Trump and find out if they would recognize me, that would stop this immediately. Otherwise, I have absolutely no hope as you in these court systems because it's a rigged game.
Well, Mike, the only thing I can share, I know we're running out of time, is be careful because I see other prisoners that are targeted like you, and they set them up while they're in prison, and they put another 10 and 20 years. They never let them out. I mean, it really becomes a life sentence. It's absolutely insane.
Thank you for using GTL. And is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording out of this call. Real quick, I just wanted to mention this U.S. Marshal that lied on the stand. He claimed he was Mark Anderson. They referred to him as Kent Dorfman, D-O-R-F-M-A-N. If anybody can look up and find out if there's a Mark Anderson or a Kent Dorfman with the U.S. Attorney's Office out of Omaha, then I can pursue this guy for assaulting me. Now, what's interesting is that before he took the stand, he went and talked to the judge before he testified. Now, realize this guy lies on the stand, commits perjury. The judge knows this guy. The U.S. attorney knows this guy. And if they know this guy's standing up there lying and they know he's committing perjury as officers of the court, they are complicit in that crime. That means this is a rude court. Realize this Shinzy guy, Don Shinzy, he restored, there was jurors that should have been excused for cause because they were anti-gun. They said they were going to be willing to convict anybody charged with a gun charge, period. He restored them. He asked them questions in such a way that restored them so they could stay, instead of getting rid of these guys. Now, he allowed them to get rid of everybody that said they were Second Amendment supporters, which was only 2. There was a woman there that was a community organizer. She had been assaulted by the cops, a young black woman. They got rid of her. There was another woman whose daughter had been abused by the cops. They got rid of her. and there was somebody else. It was another black woman. There was no black men, but there was another black woman whose relative had been assaulted. They got rid of her. Shenzi refused to ask the questions I had prepared, refused to present the video or the photos showing that the plane was wide open. It had never been locked, so it showed that the U.S. FBI agent lied to get his subpoena or to get his warrant to search the plane. He refused to press the FBI agent and the U.S. Marshal on the crimes that they committed and the lies that they were committing, the perjury they were committing. Basically, they assured that the jury never hears the truth and that the Department of Justice and the court are basically weapons against we the people to destroy our lives. This jury had no ability to hear my proof. I was required to put forth my proof via a offer of proof outside of the courts or outside of the jury's presence. They never got to hear anything. And all they did is when I testified, I swore to tell the whole truth, but yet they prevented me from telling the whole truth. When I tried to tell the whole truth, they stopped me and said, no, you just answer yes or no. And I said, but when he asked a question that you can't answer with a yes or no because it's a false question, I can't answer the question, so I'm trying to correct the question so the truth will be known. Well, they didn't want to hear that. They refused to let me talk about the Second Amendment or the Constitution or the treaties there, too. They denied to let the jury rule on the fact that I am an ambassador. That's their right to choose those facts. Those are facts that the jury was denied the right to do. And the fact is that the jury doesn't understand the law because they never read the entire, the indictment against me was never read to the jury. They were never allowed to see that. They whittled it down from interfering with interstate commerce as one of the elements to just, did he have a gun and had it cross state lines, period. Well, they say if it's in his plane, he had it. Because it doesn't matter if he knew about it, he had it. So they believe that. And the judge said many times at the beginning, we're going to ask you to believe certain things. It depends on what you believe. Now this becomes a religion. It's not about facts. It's about a belief system. It's about, can we convince you of our lies to get you to convict this man and put him away forever? And you're right. They will try to find other ways to charge me with additional things. So that's what they do. They want to utilize this system to repeatedly charge you over and over and over and over, so they whittle away until you have nothing left. So you're right about that.
Yeah, we see it over and over with other prisoners, Mike, and you know, I wish that these prosecutors and judges would answer the question: are they financially incentivized for a conviction, and have that you know, publicly read into the record?
Right. I asked the judge the question. He walked around. I said the attorney wouldn't ask the question the way I posed it to him. I said, that's not the question I asked. I didn't ask, are you going to get paid? Meaning, do you get a salary anyway? I asked the question, are you under these certain statutes going to get a bonus of $25,000 or any kind of a bonus and days off? Do you benefit in any way from me being convicted? Is there any kind of incentive for me to be convicted? For you, the U.S. attorney, or this attorney that you forced upon me against my will?
Yeah. Did he answer?
He wouldn't answer the question.
He wouldn't answer right. He wouldn't answer right. You're going to get a piece of paper from me, hopefully in the mail real soon, maybe early next week, that has all of the details of that statute.
Okay. And if anybody can look into this Mark Anderson guy or Kent Dorfman, find out who he is, that would be you know, something I could use to start pursuing that clown, because this guy's a criminal as well as this judge and this U.S. attorney. The whole system is a fraud here, and there needs to be an investigation by the State Department or by the President. They need to come in here and clean house, because this Department of Justice is rogue as it can be. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. No doubt about that.
Well, the news media, they need to find somebody that'll investigate. And I don't know if they've got anybody in this county, let alone this state, that will investigate, but somebody needs to do an investigation, because this is criminal. What they're doing is destroying innocent people's lives, and it's got to stop. Otherwise, this country is gone, and you have no safety. Your family has no safety. You know, you might as well just plan on being a slave the rest of your life, like that moron down there in Georgia. I mean, he loves his government. He is a stooge for the government, and he's a professional liar. The guy says he's, you know, just an A&P mechanic, just an infantry guy. No, you don't get access to government records like he's got. You don't get photographs of people that were locked up in a private for-profit CCA jail You don't get that stuff unless you've got connections and you're on the payroll.
Yeah, you know, Mike, we have no independent news media whatsoever in this country. I recently have been doing some investigation on Sandy Hook, and I am thoroughly convinced that was a government operation in order to take our guns, and the whole thing was a fraud. And I know that a lot of people would disagree with me there, but I am thoroughly convinced of it, and it's absolutely, yeah.
There's a book called No One Died at Sandy Hook. I've got it on my computer. I downloaded it and read it.
Yeah.
And Alex Jones is even...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Alex Jones was talking about that, but then he backpedaled because, you know, George Norrie says, well, come on, everybody knows people died there. I mean, they had funerals and stuff. And so Alex Jones backpedaled, and that's why I stopped listening to the guy, because he was being pressured and he caved. And,
you've heard of Wolfgang Halbig. He didn't backpedal. Wolfgang Halbig is still promoting the truth, and he's a very brave man. I got a lot of respect for him. But it just goes to show how much the news media is controlled in this country.
Well, we need to wake up. It's time to wake up, and they were talking about it last night on Coast to Coast. The young people are waking up through the means of the internet. We need to just keep waking them up and start making a larger noise, and we will take back this country. Now, it might take, 1776 action, but so be it. You know, we can't be slaves all of our lives. This is insane.
Yeah, amen to that.
This is not what America's all about.
Amen.
These people are rogue, and I pray that someone will get this.
Thank you for using GTL.
You want a little milkshake?